Hi to all you beautiful souls. I'm so happy that you're all here, and I'm very excited that we're at a time where we are busy growing and learning about the assembly. It's very exciting to know that things are happening. Um, I'm just starting this a bit earlier because we have been, it's going to be an awesome um, live, which I believe it will. Okay, so I'm so happy to be here, and I'm happy that we're going to spend time together and just to be part of growing our knowledge, getting to understand what we're busy doing, and also to gain some insight into things. As you can see, we have an amazing view. This is part of Africa's famous views that we have here. This Kilimanjaro mountain that used, just showing a bit of Africa to the world in all different ways. Okay, so I'm very happy you're all here, and I'm very excited that you're also part of this, and part of the journey of becoming sovereigns. I'm just going to start our chat off with the Bivens decision so that we can have it in that way, protect to know who all of us are in here. Okay, so this meeting is private. Bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forums is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner to eliminate all conflict and false allegations. Is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting that is a member or an agent of any law enforcement agency, our county or city or our township agency presence? Is there any response for the Bivens decision for the first time? Is there any response for the second time? Is there any response for the third time? Upon no response for the first, second, or third time, and up in a lawful manner. So, welcome everybody to On the Couch with Dory Light. I am your host, Dorothea, well known to a lot of people as Dory Light. I'm also representing the fullness of truth because we walk in truth and we walk in light and honor. Just know that we have our people in the chat that will assist with the comments and so on. If you have a question, please write it all in uppercase so it's easy to spot the questions and we can answer them. And let's get this started. Okay, so as you remember, last week we were discussing the assembly. Okay, we started so to that, and we're just gonna share some more information regarding the committees. Okay, so first of all, what you need to know, there were some of them that I kind of just ran over. I'm sorry about that, hey, but a bit more flesh, okay? One of them was the General Election Committee. So this committee will have kind of a procedures that they follow. If you think of it, there's nothing worse than having to hold a public election and having to backtrack or having to have public elections and finding out that that you didn't do it the right way, and then you have to go back and you have to redo it every time. Okay. So also with this committee, it's designed to fill the offices of the assembly, like an assembly chairperson or being the speaker, okay? Being the speaker of the assembly. Sorry. And when we have a speaker, it's somebody that represents the fullness of the needs of the people. Okay, so we all need to get that to person, but there will be one powerful one that connects the fullness of all the different committees, bringing information in a general assembly correctly. Okay, so also what we need to know is this person needs to be very have a open mind, if I can call it like that. Be able to hear and listen to all the different views of everybody, so that when we do have this happening, that because the person that's going to do this is going to be the one that is going to have to be able to commit themselves to bringing in all the information, not just certain, but all. Okay, so let's find some more powerful things I share with you. Okay, so last week we talked about this and we said that the chairperson actually has a very special role to be able to set themselves aside and to be able to listen to the voices of the people. Okay. Person is sometimes not everybody will agree, and the chairperson will have to go. And it's not the hard part when you do stand up as a chairperson, okay, or a spokesperson. And another committee that we actually just run over is the vetting. Let's just go through the elections process. We had the general elections, and now you have an elections committee as well. And these are the ones that's going through the vetting process of every candidate. It's somebody that will raise a hand. They may take nominations. They may have already determined that there may be people that can step up and run alongside certain things. Maybe they can play also a role in this election of others, okay? The election committee will be the ones to meet the different candidates, have talks to like to introduce this candidate, ask questions and live answers. They will also make sure that look after the election box. Now you will say, Dorothea, but I thought we dealt with voting. Okay, here comes the thing. With our General Assembly, sometimes you have maybe two candidates that is perfect for a certain position in an assembly. So we put them up, let it be the people that chooses which candidate is best suited for that position, which they feel comfortable with. So then we run an election, okay? So there will be the elections process will happen then with the elections committee. So they will be the ones putting the ballots out, informing the public, like our members or our people out there, which candidate is best suited for that. And when every candidate's strengths and their weaknesses and everything, they will create like a profile for this candidate. We're going to have like an election for this position. Both of them qualified, went through the vetting process. They are both capable of it, but we're going to need one for now. And then what happens, we take them through that process of voice to talk about which candidate they want. So the votes will then be taken and put into a box, or however we're going to create the ballots. But according to that, that person will then get elected into the position of the assembly. That's just when there are maybe a lot of people that is on the assembly voting or wanting to be in the same position. Then we have this to solve it a bit, okay? So another position that we didn't talk a lot, this is a very strict position, okay? And this position gets easily misunderstood, okay? This position is supposed to be the sergeant at arms. That's a better word for it. But because we are coming in from it has to be like organized as a naval office. That's how we can also see it, okay? In the Navy, the Marshal at Arms has a whole bunch of military duties, but when they are on the land, their functions differ severely, okay? So, of course, they are working with civilians now on land, okay? So also, so a traditional marshal at arms in the Navy has a lot more of military police aspects to the office. But when it comes to the land and those aspects of the job, it just goes away. And instead, what you have is like a security position where the marshal at arms is supposed to be providing security at meetings. So let's say we have outreach and to come into a physical gathering, okay? But because that's coming, then we have the marshal, and the marshal at arms is then the one that sees that everything is secure, it's safe, it's protected. They would normally make sure the location that gets chosen for these gatherings are secure, and make sure that the guests who are attending the meeting will be physically also safe. So there are no mass. So also they will see that sometimes we will think, okay, with everything happening, can things like get difficult with these gatherings? We don't know, beautiful souls. Sometimes things can happen and it can get a bit loose, if I call it that way, or be aggressive or things like that. Then that's where the marshal at arms this harm. So they kind of are more seen as a security in the assembly, okay? Let me just check what's there more. There's another thing. The marshal at arms is also one that helps to maintain and to keep the decorum. So when we do have meetups, to stick to being true, to have respect for one another, to honor, to have communication, not to hurt and harm. So the marshal that's going to be the one taking care of our people in this way, they really need to, and they're also the ones, the marshal will bring them in and also sort things out. Let's say there's a problem, okay? And maybe somebody is just really going through a really, really difficult time in their life, okay? Then we will have the marshal that will actually um, have a conversation with this beautiful soul that's maybe going through a really hard time. Because sometimes some of us will not be okay, and things can get a bit tough. And then we kind of lose it a bit. We act out because of situations, maybe in our own circumstances. It can be at home, it can be with your family. Things can maybe be at your work, whatever the case may be. And then sometimes we lose it a bit by acting out inappropriately. It's not always now that we need to take this person on and say, listen, you were wrong, don't do it like this, and just keep on fighting. No, that's why we have the marshals. And we have different marshals and sheriffs that you should know. And one of them is also a peacekeeping marshal or sheriff. They're normally the ones that helps in the situations to have talks to this people that is going through tough things, and then to support them in ways to see if they can resolve it. Okay, so also the marshal is the one that's going to be the one taking care of the assembly assets. When I say it's like an instance, or the seals, or when there is elections happening, the marshal is the one protecting the ballots and keeping that safe. And so the marshal has actually a big task at hand. So when we do go and get our marshals and our sheriffs, we will need to know that it needs really to be somebody that's competent in a sense of handling the responsibility of being that marshal. Okay, and by being able to handle the decorum that needs to get followed of the assembly. Okay, so we talked last week a bit about also about the outreach, how that works. We should know that the outreach committee is, they are our front runners. Education is very important with the outreach because they are the ones that actually meets up the people first, if I can say it like that. So we need to see education that they do get is easy. We don't it really to be powerful in a sense of making an impact. Keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it interesting, come to the point, and not giving them things that they don't get yet. They're also the ones that need to know how to take it little steps with the newbies. We call them the newbies. Those are the ones coming from the sea and they're still a bit lost and don't know what's going on. So we normally have the outreach giving them like little spoon feeds, mouthfuls, and not to scare them off or to bring more confusion. So we need to keep that in heart with our outreach people, okay? So also one that I've missed last week to talk about was our IT team. Our IT people, okay? Those are the ones that, oh my gosh, I call them the smart ones. They have the brains to create amazing things with web designing, with the education. They are even capable of creating little small snippets and stuff. They know about the database. Some of them are even good to create servers. They are the ones that also know how big the data storage needs to be to actually capture and archive all the data. Normally, also they help with the security part of the data. So it's like cybersecurity. So we really would want people in that part of to be able to know the fullness of IT, if I can say it like that. But some of us will have that skill to be able to create, let's say, websites and all these things. But we will in future have those amazing teams be able to come in and actually train our people, okay, to have a bigger team of IT people that can take hands to make the. So another one that I've missed is our sessions committee. Okay, the sessions committee, um, it's like assembly being on assembly phase. That means meetings on regular basis, supposed to have general assembly meetings, maybe once a week or twice a week or once a month, or however, we are calling our meetings into session when we gather. And that is why we have a committee that will see to it to arrange those meetings. That's part of the session. So when we come into session, but in the beginning of every assembly, we need to session because we are busy building the fullness of. But as we grow and as we get to know how things work and we are starting to put the stuff together, then it's for every committee to have that and say, okay, we can maybe meet once in 2 weeks, or okay, once a month, or let's have it every week. So at the end of this, we need to see that the meetings that gets called is meetings that will assist us. That's why you will even get people that say, oh, you need to have like a PowerPoint presentation or something, or have minutes and all of that with your meetings. It's good if it's organized, but we need to have an open heart and mind so that people can actually come to this meetings and be able to ask, to speak their hearts, and like we have a scheduled program walking through it. I'm in that way I say it needs to be there needs to be the decorum, true. There needs to be order, true. That have it like just some time, or maybe another time. It's a meeting should be, you may feel comfortable enough speaking and sharing your heart and your ideas, and not being muted if you want to say something. There is an order, like I said, that we do have. Can I say something? Or with Zoom and all these amazing online things we have, there is actually a button that raises a hand for you. And not to interrupt people when they're talking. That's part of the decorum stuff with the assembly. But we need to have an openness when we do have meetups and discuss different things on our hearts about the assembly, about our committee, about our progress, and so on. That's why we have a sessions committee. Okay. Um, then, yeah, I think that's what I wanted to discuss is the topics that I don't want to say topics, the committees that I kind of left out a bit. We will go into more depth as we grow and share more information regarding the different committees and put more out in the groups, if I can say it like that. There's another thing that's on my heart that I think this needs to be said, okay? There's a reason that we are using a post office. This is a question that was asked to me, and it came up in a lot of recordings with international, but I'm going to put it on ours so that we have it here. Okay. There's a reason why we use a post office. If you have noticed that even Anna is sending her documents with post. She posts it with mail. And this is important because the post office is seen as our postal court. So that all of you get this now. When we do post information, use a post office. It is our postal court. It's the postmaster being the postal court. You are informing your departments or wherever you send it off to. You are lawfully informing them because you are using a postal court. That's why I'm telling this, I'm saying this. You need to use a post office when we use and need to send documents to inform departments. And I wanted to say this so that everybody will know this. This is something that was really pressing on my heart. Because a lot of us think, no, we can just use another way. No, you can't use office because it's seen as our postal court. And I'm going to open the floor and I'm going to say welcome to all you beautiful souls. I'm very happy you are on the live and being part of our education. I'm going to open the floor for any questions for our moderators in the chat that will be able to also help. But if you have a specific question that's on your heart that you need answers to, please just put it in the chat and I will answer you. Also, I'm going to say this. There was a question that somebody also asked me. And I'm going to contacted me asking about the credential cards or the IDs for sons and daughters that's not 21 yet. And this question, I asked it on on Lisa and Anna's conversation. And Anna responded to it by saying that, yes, they will have a proof of ID in the form of a credential card when they come of age, but they will not be able in the assembly, but they will have that. So I just needed to answer that for the person that contacted me asking me about that. Okay, so I'm very happy that we had this live. I'm sorry, there's a lot of people trying to contact me at this point, but they need to respect our gatherings. Is there ask something, share something? You're more than welcome. Are you all okay? Happy being here? Is there anybody that want to ask anything? Are you all sure? Mel, are you still up here? Okay. If there's nothing, beautiful souls, we will meet up again next week, okay? I love you all a lot. Have an amazing, beautiful Friday, okay? Exercises, do some grounding, do some meditation if you can. Just stay connected in a high vibration, all right? And thank you, everyone, that you were on here. And take care of yourselves, okay? Love and light to you all, and the recording will be available on YouTube for all to listen to it, okay? Love and light. Have an amazing Friday, okay? Take care.